Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is the first time of stopping by. Hi, nice meeting you for the first time. So, in today's video, we'll be making this lovely gown you saw on our thumbnail. And for this gown, I started by marking a straight line, which is going to serve as our starting point. And from there, I marked my chest measurement, which is 6 inches. And then I'm going to be marking my half length plus 1 inch allowance for joining, which is 12 inches that you saw me mark. And this gown is for a 5 to 6 years old baby, for instance, not baby, girl. So the next thing I'm going to be marking, placing my tape at the beginning of my pattern paper. I'm sorry that you guys is out of focus. I didn't notice until when I was editing the video. So for my neckline, I marked my neckline. The width is at 3 inches, and then the depth is 3 inches as well. That I marked 3.3 inches because I wanted it to have kind of a wider neckline that um a wider neckline. In fact, I do not want it to be so fitted on the neck. And I just made a cuff to serve as a round neck. I'm sorry that I'm not making use of my what's it called, French curve. I am still struggling with getting used to that French curve. The next thing I'm going to be marking is my shoulder measurement divided by 4. Remember, our tape is placed at the beginning of the pattern paper, or if you're marking directly to your fabric, please, it will be at the beginning of your fabrics. And I just connected the line to meet my bust point. Then the next thing I did is to mark my shoulder line, to mark my shoulder slope, sorry, and I'm going to connect it to this to meet my shoulder line or my neckline, whichever I want to call it. Then the next thing I marked is my bust measurement divided by 4, and I'm going to go ahead and insert the measurement, which is at 6.5 inches or 7 inches if I'm not mistaken. Then I added 1.5 inches allowance for joining. So I'm going to make a curve from my armhole to connect it to the bust measurement that we just marked. Then the next thing we are going to do is to mark our waist measurement divided by 4, and I also insert which is 6.5 as well, and then insert our allowance 1.5 inches allowance. I'm going to go ahead and connect the line from the bust point, from the bust to the waistline, just like you see me do. And that's all for the front bodies. We're going to go ahead and transfer this to our back, to another pattern, to draw out our back. So for this, I'm going to place this on another pattern. Please do not mark all the lines on the pattern. I used it previously for another tutorial. So the first thing I did is to make a to add some inches for my zipper, which you see me do. I just moved my pattern paper inward. Then I'm going to go ahead. I'm just extending the zipper line allowance, so that by the time we take out our pattern paper, is to be, excuse me, confusing for us. And then I went ahead to mark my neckline, to trace out my neckline, so that I will know where my neck width is. And I also trace out my bust point. If you look at that zipper area where I'm just pointing, that's my bust point. So the next thing I did is to from my waistline, I'm going up by 1 inch, which will serve as the allowance we added for joining. So from that 1 inch, I'm going up by 2 inches. If you want your back to be more open, that means you're going to leave it at the waistline, which is the 1 inch that we go up, but I want it to be a little bit covered. That's why I went up by 2 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and slant this up to our neckline. You can see the way I connected my zipper allowance. That's exactly how the right way to connect it. If you don't want it you don't want it to find it difficult while trying to attach your zip. If you haven't subscribed up to this morning, please take 1 minute and hit on the subscribe button. Join the growing family. And to my old subscribers, I won't fail to appreciate you guys. I appreciate you so much for all your support, your comments, your encouragement, the questions. Yes, I like having see your questions, all the likes, all every way you've supported me in this channel. I really appreciate it. For those that have been sharing my videos too, thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you all. So I just transfer the pattern onto my fabric and I cut out every single pieces of it, the front and the back, and I also duplicated it as I have my front bodice into two. If you have your lining, just I always mention, please make use of a lining at this moment, but for me I am using my fabric for my as my lining as well. So my fabric is cut, I cut it into two. My front is into two, then my back, because it's two pieces, is into four. The next thing I'm going to do is to arrange my fabric front facing front, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch on my neckline and also my my armhole, because it's not going to be having a sleeve. And then I'm going to go ahead for the back one. I am going to open it as well to the front, making sure I arrange it well. Please do not make mistake of mixing it up. Make sure that your zipper allowance is where it's supposed to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and do as well front facing front, just like I did on the front body. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch the neckline. You can see the way I am going to stitch it, just like you see me pointing. And then I'm going to stitch the armhole as well, and I'll do the same thing for the other back bodies. And that's all for the stitching of the neckline and the armhole. I just went ahead to notch it. You see that zipper area that we stitched and the neckline, please make sure you notch that edge. If not, it's going to have some tension there by the time you want to turn it. Please stitch it and notch it. And I went ahead to turn it to the right side. If you have your iron at this point, your light, please go ahead and iron this. So I'm just going ahead to arrange my pieces, front facing front, the back front facing the front of the back, the front facing the back front. I hope it makes sense to you though. And then I stitch on at my shoulder line. So this is it after I was done stitching it. You make sure you arrange your fabric well and then stitch at the seams line. We added 1.5 inches, so that's exactly what I stitched. So this is the fabric for my gathers. I deducted my half length from the total fabric, and then I added 2 inches for the hemming. I'm going to go ahead, hem this, and then run a loose stitch at the upper part to gather it, sorry. And then this is my bodice. I am done with the stitching of the seam side. I measured my waistline, and then I gathered my fabric exactly the way is exactly the measurement of my waist, but I did not gather my zipper allowance, which I always mention. There's no need to gather your zipper allowance. If you want a full tutorial of how to gather your fabric or your whatever you want to gather, it will be in the description, but please check it out. Sorry that I am speaking so fast. So the next thing I did is to place my bodice on my gathers front facing front, and then I went ahead to stitch it down. And this is it after I was done stitching it down. And you guys can know I do a lot of gathers in this channel. I just feel like gather fits the children more than flay and plating. I don't know. So the next thing I did is just to close up the zipper allowance and then stitch my attach my zipper, and that's basically all on this style. It's a simple style, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you do, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, share my videos too. Show me love in any way you can, and thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.